Hey everyone, welcome to the 11 o'clock live chat. I'm Heather, I'm Director of Education here at Luminess. And guys, we're here each and every day for you so you learn more and more about Luminess and what we have to offer. So everyone knows Luminess because of our airbrush system. We've been around for 20 plus years. And so we have a full airbrush line. But now we also have a full cosmetic line and we have a full skincare line. And so there's a lot of information to get out. We also know that you want to see it in the work. So maybe some of you have thought about airbrushing, thought about doing this. They're like, oh, I don't know. I've seen the infomercials. I've talked to people, but I don't know. How do I get started? Or and so this is what these live chats are for. They're so you can ask questions as we go along. So the 10 o'clock, I do them at 10, 11, and 3, Monday through Friday. So the 10 o'clock, I do skincare. 11 o'clock, I start the makeup. 3 o'clock, I'm going to finish the makeup. And so you have plenty of time to ask me questions, and we always change it up. So whatever you guys want to see is what I talk about or what we do. So good morning, or is it morning, afternoon? Hey, Donnie, how are you? Cindy, hey, CJ on YouTube. And then we have, Dawn already put her Texas Beauty. So if you are a Luminess Beauty, know that you can put your emojis down of the thumbs up, the lipstick, and thumbs up, lips, and lipstick. And that tells the people that you are a Luminess Beauty consultant. And so if you are interested in purchasing product, or you're or interested in learning about the product, you reach out to one of the ones with the emojis that are Luminess Beauty. That way I don't have you bombarded by all the Luminess Beauties. So we have them on this channel as well, so they can learn as much as you guys want to learn about Luminess. So hello, hey BB, how are you, Christina? Hello, Helen. How do you prevent foundation and blush going into your hairline? It's actually your stylist, Helen, is so precise that it only goes where you're pointing it. So we'll talk about that when I start airbrushing. But that is a great question. That's a question we get a lot. When I first started to airbrush, my dad was like, do you lay down a tarp or what do you do? It is so precise. I can even do eyeshadow with it. So it is very, very precise. Hey, Muzi, good to see you, my friend. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and start. On the 10 o'clock, I did do my skincare. So I did the Hydra Mask. Then I put the AM Ignition Lotion on. And now, and then of course, I put the Velvet Veil on. So I am going to start out with my eraser. Eraser is one of the airbrush essentials that we have. And this is amazing. So if you're going to want to, cover some imperfections, if you have redness, or you just need to have a little more coverage before getting started with the foundation, then you want to try the Airbrush Essentials. So I'm just using the eraser. The eraser comes in one shade. It is just one shade. You don't have to order a shade. It just comes one. And then I'm turning on my system. I have the product in here, and now I'm going to start airbrushing. Now back to Helen as far as not going all over my face. This is so precise. And one way, if you do have a system, one way I suggest you try this out is get a piece of drawing paper, paper towel, or whatever, and you're going to hold it, like if this is the paper towel, hold it at different levels or different degrees from the paper towel or the drawing paper, or you can even do a mirror. What that's going to show you is how precise it can be. The Velvet Veil. Since I can't catch the 10 viewing, CJ, the Velvet Veil is a blur. So this is a primer that we put on. It helps blur fine lines and wrinkles, redness, big pores, and it has a dropper in it. Let me go over that real quick. It has a dropper in it. However, I take the dropper out and I do it like this, and I just put it on my face. I feel like I have a little more control over it that way. And so I just put it on that way. A little bit goes a long way. Once it dries, you don't want to reapply it because it doesn't allow a lot of movement, but it is amazing. It is amazing. So if you go to any of the sites, you can type in Velvet Veil, or it is under primers, and check it out. But most people who use it want it to come in like and drums of because it is amazing stuff. But you would put that on before you start airbrushing. So that's just one step that I can do to help blur my fine lines and wrinkles, cover some of my redness. It's just an amazing product. All right, so now I'm going in with my eraser. And back to what I was telling you as far as how close you need to be. When you're airbrushing, you want to be about 4 finger widths away. You want to keep moving, and you want to barely pull back on the trigger. Now, when you first start to airbrush, the pulling back of the trigger is probably something you're going to want to practice. And you can practice with water. Water's fun. You're not wasting any product. You just keep going. And so that's one way you can practice. You want to keep moving. You don't have to race, so you don't have to be like really fast, but you just have to keep moving because you don't want to stay in one spot. And even this, that doesn't mean like even I'm just moving around in that same circle. So when I say moving, keep going around and around and around and around. Hello, Alavina? Alavina. Ooh, I like that name. All right, so now I just have my eraser. Now with eraser, I'm going to do it on my lids because my lids are a little bit darker. I'm going to do it under here. So I'm really concentrating eraser right here. Yes, the Velvet Veil question was on YouTube. We now have it where you can be on Facebook or YouTube. So again, I'm just focusing right in this area. I don't have to race. And know that one pass, you're not going to get 100% coverage. You don't want 100% coverage with airbrush makeup. Guys, we have to reprogram our thinking to airbrush makeup. This is not traditional makeup. You are not going to see it go on. I'm going to mess up. If you see it like that, that's too harsh, okay? That's too much. I'm gonna blot that out. That's too much. You don't want that much makeup. So I want to keep moving, keep moving. Oh, and I wasted all of it because I'm doing that one, so I add a little bit more. I'm going to use about 4 drops. And then I'm going to keep going. Do you get peach color corrector on any? You can add the, Marilyn, if you want the automatic shipment sent to you, you can add the peach color corrector, most certainly. You know, the peach color corrector is something I use a lot of. It's something I go through quite a bit, even though I'm using 10 times less makeup. And so that is something, you know, if you're using that on a regular basis, then yes, you can definitely get that added. All right, I'm going to keep going, keep getting my coverage, but you can already see my face is starting to light up a bit just because, one, the eraser comes in one color. I tanned yesterday and Friday, and so I am a little darker. But I'm not too worried about it if it's lightening me up a little bit because I still have my foundation to put on. So I'm not really worried about it. All right, so Velvet Veil is done. Velvet Veil, again, is one of our airbrush essential. Oh my gosh, eraser is one of our airbrush essentials. And that is one thing, one option I have to start my coverage. Another option would be X out. Another option would be peach color corrector. So I try to show you guys each and every one, and I try to mix it up so you get to see it. Of course, I have my favorites, my go-to, and sometimes that's what I use. But I love the fact I can mix it up. I mean, I love the peach color corrector. You might not need that much coverage, so eraser might be your thing, or X out might be your thing. You need to try different products to see what your thing is. If you are not loving airbrush makeup, it's just because we need to tweak something. I don't like saying you're doing something wrong. It's just we need to tweak something to get you there. Everybody might, I mean, we all might have a different regimen as far as all the the way I like my makeup might be different than the way Donnie likes her makeup. And so we're all putting it on maybe different ways, but I'm showing you the how to do it and maybe some steps to get there. Does that make sense? Christina, BB loves the peach color corrector. Oh, that's interesting. Christina, see, this is another way. Christina mixes eraser and her peach color corrector together, and it helps her freckles disappear. There you go. I don't have freckles. That's a great idea. She knows that because she's practiced. She's tried different things. She's tried different ways to make it work, and that works for her. So again, guys, there's always going to be something different. If you're like, Heather, I need this con, and maybe it's something I don't have, but believe me, I have plenty. There might be somebody else on here that has that. So that talking to us and putting your input in is very important, guys. Dawn says I need to order more foundation because once I leave the beach. Oh, yeah, you are going to be darker. Yes, you are. Good morning, Gina. Good to see you. Cindy switched to YouTube. Hello, Cindy. All right, so now I'm going to go in. I'm actually going to add a little more eraser. I'm going to get a little bit more underneath my eyes. And when I do under my eyes, I make a pass and then switch. Make a pass and then switch. I don't, again, want to stay in that area. I'm looking up. I look up and then angle my airbrush down so it's not blowing in my eye. It's not going to get in my eye because that is how precise it is. If I need to kind of blend that out, I can. And now blow the rest of that out. Now I can start my foundation. Now, right now I'm doing shade 5 because I'm darker. And so I go from a 3 to a 5, and I'm using the Silk 4-in-1. The Silk 4-in-1 has anti-aging properties in it. It has your moisturizer primer. It has a full cover concealer, and it has your foundation. And so I like it. I also love Mystic. We have different finishes to help you with whatever look. We have a lot of people that love Mystic, and that's what they use every day. I use Mystic for special occasions or things like that. I can get full coverage with Silk. It's what your preference is, all right? What works for one won't necessarily work for all. You have to play with your system and products. Have fun with it. That's exactly right, Christina. That's exactly right. Marilyn asked, what's X out? X out is a step up from eraser, but that's going to help X out dark circles, dark spots on the face, redness on the face. You can use it all over the face, but that does come in 3 different colors. It comes in the light, the medium, and the dark. So you need to pick a color. When ordering the Airbrush Essentials, you're going to order light, medium, or dark, and that's because of the X out. Everything else, the porcelain that is a Airbrush Essential is colorless. Or eraser only comes in 1 color. Your X out is going to give you 3 options, okay? So that's what you're picking when you're picking the Airbrush Essentials. Linda likes eraser for dark spots. Jane Todd is mixing her Silk and Mystic. Yes, you can mix different finishes. All right. I am going to do something real quick because I feel like it's a little sputtery. So I'm going to take my stylus. I just turned it off, pull back on my trigger. So that's removing the needle, but the system's off. And I'm going to clean the tip just real quick and see if that helps a little. All right. Yeah, there we go. All right. So now I use a mixture of both. Also, Christina also mixes. Cindy mixes matte and ultra. X out. Gina says X out is my liquid gold. All right, so now I'm adding, guys, look, this is already dry, I just made a pass. Here's a, whoop. It's already dry, okay? That is how light you're spraying. Now, if you're not there yet, if your still feels a little sticky, know that you should be pulling back less on the trigger. It should dry almost instantly. All right? But guys, I tell you this time and time again, the more you have this guy in your hand, the more you're going to learn, right? The more you practice. I've been doing these for over a year and I'm still learning. Whether it's learning a different way of putting it on, whether it's learning, I don't know whether it's an order of how you do something, whether it's the spraying, sometimes I still think this, when I'm in a hurry, I think, oh, if I pull back harder and just spray really quick, it'll be better. No, still pull back less on the trigger. Pulling back more is not going to make it better. It just makes more product come out, and then it's not going to have that airbrushed look. I am barely pulling back on my trigger. I keep moving, and I keep making those passes until I get the coverage that I want. All right, makeup is done. I'm now going to run some Tip Top cleaner through it because you do want to clean it every single day. After you use it, definitely clean it. Look how even my face is. I'm spraying this out. Now I'm taking the little Q-tip and I'm swirling it around the bowl. And now I'm going to spray all of this out. And this is when you can pull all the way back on the trigger. That's when you can pull all the way back. That's when you can let everything out and just keep going. All right, I'm going to go in and tweak the eyebrows just a little. And this should be Coca. Cindy says, if it's wet, you're spraying too hard, just let up on the trigger. Linda loves the brightening serum. She said her face feels so moisturized. The general idea is to keep practicing. The one thing, guys, the reason why we share that so often is about practice, is people get our system home and they expect to be an expert the very first time. Guys, if you remember back to when you started wearing makeup, you weren't an expert the very first time you did your makeup, the traditional way. And so this is a new way of putting it on. It is unlike traditional makeup, so it's going to take some practice. We're very upfront about that. That's why we started these live chats, so you can ask questions. You can come on here and say, Heather, what happened? Mine wiped off in like 5 minutes. I can tell you steps that you need to change to help tweak how you're putting it on so you will love it. Everyone, anyone, I don't care who you are, can love Luminess, period. They can. We just might need to change it. If you're not loving it, then we're doing something wrong. We need to tweak it, okay? So you do have to keep practicing. We tell you that because I don't want you to get this home and think you're going to be an expert the very first time. You want to keep practicing and then come back to our live chats and ask your questions. If it's something I haven't dealt with, I promise somebody on here has. And so we all help each other. And so I want to make sure that you understand. Sorry, I was concentrating on my eyebrow. That you understand that don't get frustrated if you're not doing it the very first time and you're not looking flawless. It does take some work, some practice. It doesn't take long. We tell people to do the 7-day challenge. Use it 7 days in a row and you will have it down. Okay. So again, don't get frustrated. All right. All right. So now face is flawless. What the mission for our foundation is to even out our skin tone. So with eraser, I started my coverage. There were still some spots I needed to cover, and then I can go back with my foundation, even everything out. You don't see the lightness from the eraser. You just see more. I'm getting my coverage. So it is buildable coverage, but it is a process. You're not doing layers, you're doing passes because we are not covering every inch of our face. It works with your skin and it lets your skin breathe. When people are like, I always ask, airbrush makeup works with your skin. And I'm like, I have a lot of coverage. Do I look cakey? And they're like, no. I'm like, feel my face. And it feels like my face. It doesn't feel like, ooh, my hand's sticking because I have so much makeup on. No, it works with your skin. Is that a new brow pencil? Yes, the brow pencil is Coca. And it is a new color that we do have. So the mission of airbrush makeup or the mission of foundation is to even out your skin tone. Right now, I have a flat face. I want to add some depth to my face. And so I will do that. And I'm going to go ahead and do it in this one because we'll finish. I'm going to do that with the Cut 1 palette. And I'm going to take one of our new brushes and take the Cut 1, which you can tell I use this a lot. Thank you, Alvina. I hope I say that right. And now I'm going in. This is one of our angled contour brushes in our 5-piece brush set. Angela said mine is now sputtering. I have cleaned the solution, use it every day. The cleaning solution sprays out fine. The foundation is not coming out. Okay, so Angela, what you want to do is look at the video where it shows you how to break it apart. What you want to do is make sure everything is screwed on tightly. Between the airbrush solution and airbrush makeup, it's a different like heaviness to it. Just make sure everything is screwed on properly, because sometimes with vibrations it comes unscrewed, and then try that. Another thing that you can do is, and this is a kind of a secret, pop it off and you put yes, there is one on YouTube as well. Oh yeah, I pronounced it right. Pop this off the hose, put it in where you're put it in your dishwasher and run it through a cycle. Or if you have a jewelry cleaner that like shakes it, you can also do it that way as well. Try that. Also call customer service and they can help you as well. They can walk you through it to help you clean that. We do stand behind our products. Oh, Muzette always says use rubbing alcohol or tequila or vodka for that deep clean. All right. So look, now I just added contour to my face. Notice how it gives my face shape. Before I was flat. Now I have some contouring in. I want to break apart the roundness of my face. So I'm going to bring this in, do a little bit because I'm wearing my hair back. I do a little bit on my temples, and then of course my chin. I want to. So Marilyn, you have to be careful when you are breaking apart your, you don't want the trigger to come out because that's just crazy. So when I take out the needle, I hold this down and I don't lay it down. So hold this down, take this out, take the needle out, clean the needle, and then put it back. I don't let the trigger come off. Use alcohol and drink tequila. Linda, that's hilarious. Hello, Christina. Yeah, Angela, always reach out if you're having any problems as well. But we have videos out there to teach you how to do it. But customer service will walk you through it. And we do stand behind our product. There's a 1-year warranty. So we always, will replace the stylus if we need to. I always, always, always recommend when our stylus goes on sale, get an extra one. Not that you might need it, but there's times if I didn't clean mine on a regular basis, I don't want to deal with that while I'm getting ready. I could pop it off, pop on the new one, go to town, and then I can handle it later when I have more time. And so and then also if you have to send one in, you have a backup. Without the airbrush, you can't have an airbrush makeup, right? You can't be airbrushed without our airbrush, without our stylus. And so that way you have a backup, which is always very helpful. Cindy says, make sure the needle is pushed all the way in. Very true. When you slide that needle back in, just tap the edge to make sure it slid all the way to the very, very end. All right. All right, guys. You have been awesome. I hope this has helped. Whether you're new to airbrushing, or whatever, I want to be here to answer your questions. So we will come back at 3. CJ says I use 1 and 2 mixed. Would be a good contour shade. I got the bronzer, but it is a bit too much. Okay, so yes, you can use, CJ, you can use the bronzer, but put a couple of drops of either shade 1 or shade 2 in it, and then to lighten it. So maybe use 2 drops of the bronzer and then 1 drop, 2 to 1. So 2 drops of bronzer, 1 drop of either shade 1 or 2 to lighten it. I do that all the time. I use the matte bronzer and then I put a drop of shade 2 in there to mix it a little bit lighter. So again, remember, CJ, you can mix colors together just like you're using shade 1 and 2 to get your perfect match. Mix a little bit of a lighter shade in with your bronzer to lighten up that bronzer. All right, we'll see you very soon. Thank you, Linda. Thank you guys so much. We'll finish the look at 3. I'll do eyes. I'll do some blush probably. Finish my lips. CJ, what's your question, girl? I'll hang on. CJ, tell me, baby. I'll do some lips while we're sitting. Ask me. I don't want to put anything off, babe. I can hang on. I'm going to line my lips with Dusty Rose. I'm waiting on CJ's question on YouTube. Ask away, baby cakes. I line the outside. Bye, guys. I'm just waiting on CJ's question. CJ Taylor. Oh, it deals with the eyes? Okay. All right, CJ. Well, I'm going to hold you to that. So you can ask at 3. All right, guys. Love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me this Monday, and I will see you back here. Muzette, it was Dusty Rose, yes. I will see you back here at 3. All right. Bye, guys.